Warren Shaw here from the NBA Baseline Podcast, here with rookie sensation Jaren Jackson Jr. How are you, brother? How's everything on your side?
I'm good. Way to give me a little confidence boost with that sensation. Thank you.
Oh, of course. I mean, season cut short, unfortunately, a little bit too, but we all know what you're capable of. But we're here to talk about your role here with Gatorade today, and surprising the male player of the year here, and James Wiseman. Just talk to a little bit about that and how it got going. Like, who contacted you from Gatorade, and how did this whole surprise thing go today with James?
Well, we, I mean, I know James for many years before this, and so we were always cool. I was always a fan of his game. I knew he was gonna do big things, and ironically, I got drafted here, so it put me in a position where I'm pretty much down the street from his school, and the people at Gatorade, thought it would be a great idea for us to collaborate and do something special for him, and I was just happy to be a part of it.
So for those of us who weren't able to be there, just kind of talk about how did the surprise go down, like kind of what did you guys do, to give him this award today?
Yeah, well, they had like a bunch of students outside and a bunch of cheerleaders outside, and his family and some of his coaches were all outside waiting on him, and he didn't know any of us were here, and he comes outside, and I was standing with all of them with a trophy, and there was a big sign that said Gatorade Player of the Year, so he knew what was happening then, but he had no idea like he was getting presented with it, and he definitely was hit with emotions, and he was just shocked at first, but he didn't know what to say. But now he's realizing what happened, and I'm happy for him.
So as somebody who obviously achieved a certain level of success your own self, being a high school player, now making it to the NBA, and even maybe more poignantly for you as well too, because having talked to a couple other players who've worked with the Gatorade program, not everybody has a connection to the player that they're presenting. So how did it make it that much more special for you that again you happen to know him, you happen to be drafted there in Memphis in the same city as well too, where you can even make it like a little bit more poignant for James when making the presentation.
It definitely made it more special for me, and just the situation overall. Just because, I mean, they had no idea we knew each other, so it was just random how that kind of worked, and the fact that I knew him was just icing on the cake because, um, you know, obviously no one was aware of our relationship like that. But I mean, we're cool, and that's what makes it more fun. Just for him, have a familiar face, giving him something, and he's gonna be right along playing with me in a little bit, so that's gonna be fun too.
Big facts there, big facts. So it's interesting because I think Memphis itself, even the organization you're with the Grizzlies, they're known for doing amazing work within the community. And while this isn't necessarily a community project, it still speaks to the upliftment of our youth, so to speak. So what does that mean to you, to be chosen as an athlete that other athletes, coming up can also kind of look up to you and what you've done and how you've paved the way for them too, and just knowing that you're in their position just a few seasons ago, few years ago rather.
Um, I think it just you mean I was in his position a couple years ago.
Right, and now again, like you're the one now who's kind of giving out awards and and giving advice to the youth. Where again you were the one seeking out that a couple of years ago.
It's kind of funny when you think about it, because I mean that was only like a couple years ago. I was in his shoes, so I mean to go from that to giving advice is just a blessing to be able to even have anything to say. And but I laugh about it sometimes. It will probably set in later for me as I get older, because I'll understand like what I've done in my career and what advice I can actually give to people coming up. And yeah, I mean we're all in the same fraternity of basketball players, high level players, so we're always gonna get along in some way.
Yeah, it's a crazy cycle though when you think about it too, because obviously you're still young in your career as well too, so you're kind of getting some advice now for some veterans on your team, and now still passing it down even to like high school players who aspire to be you as well too. Who are some of the people who are helping you right now currently in the NBA at your level?
I would say, veterans on my team like Mike Conley, Marcus Hall before he left, and just any veterans, even guys that are close to my age, like Dylan Brooks, Kyle Anderson, anybody on my team. If you have a question, they'll hear you. Even new guys, Avery Bradley. There's so many different ears I can go to, and those guys are, they're not just my teammates, they're my brothers, they're my friends. So you pretty much can go to them for anything.
Final one, 'cause I know you got to run here really quickly. Just in general, what do you feel like this award means to somebody like James right now? Again, first of many accolades, he's going to probably be receiving. Just how can you put this Gatorade Player of the Year award in perspective for him?
Well, now that you mention it, winning the Gatorade Player of the Year it means you're the best in the country. It does. There's no bigger award in sports for high school at the high school level. They have 25 winners turned into NBA first round draft picks, 5 NBA MVPs, and 65 All Star appearances. So there's so many different statistics you can look at for and predict what you think James is gonna do. But I already know what James is gonna do. You know what James is gonna do. He's gonna be himself. He's gonna be as great as he wants to be, which is probably on his worst day sensational. And I think he's just gonna be very successful. And he's a great guy. Also, I think people not miss it, but because he puts on, you know, great face, and he's great with everybody, all the time. But definitely, people can look at his talent and forget that he's a good person, he's a good student, he's good, great with his parents, and great with his family. Everybody around him supports him, so he's a great support base there.
Well, I appreciate the deep dive into the Gatorade analytics there, and then obviously, the support of James moving forward. They say, good company does stick around with each other. So it seems like he and you are both in good company with each other, Jaren. I really appreciate the time, man, so much, and I wish you the best of luck the rest of this season, and of course into the NBA future, bro.
No problem, man. Thank you. You know how to know them Gatorade facts by heart.
That's what's up, man. Have a great evening, sir.